Hi, what is up guys? Loser Maniac here, and welcome to, I don't know what to call this, a rant, whatever. Um, and yes, I know I've been making a lot of Cyberpunk videos recently. I know I've been talking about it a lot. That's because, I'm obsessed with the game. Kind of like with the Last of Us Part 2, I made separate videos talking about different topics of The Last of Us Part 2. So just let me have my moment here, because there's some stuff I do. Plus, I'm playing the game non-stop like crazy, which I think I probably shouldn't, which is something I'll talk about in a couple, or like a minute or so. Um, or... So yeah, let me just have this moment. I don't know, I don't have any regular videos, so something like this is just gonna be whatever. So with that, let's get on with this video. So Cyberpunk is putting me on edge a lot recently. So as some of you guys know, or if you guys watch some other video, I can't remember if I mentioned this, I'm doing a Netrunner playthrough. I was supposed to do a Netrunner playthrough where within that, I was supposed to let Johnny, I was going to say yes to Johnny. I was going to let him take over. And that's still the plan I'm going for. But there's an important quest, or job. And I say important for one reason I'll discuss right now, which is that it's the quest Tapeworm. Now, the reason it's important is because if you play your cards right, it is the final job you have to do of Act 2 before starting Act 3, which is the endings. And the reason it's important is because it may be the end of Act 2, depending on if you don't want to side with Johnny. Now, whether you whether you help Panam and the Aldecados, or if you save Takamura in Search and Destroy, which is something you can do, then that kind of leads in. Then that's it for part 2. That's it for part 2. You can tell Johnny whatever the fuck you want, but if you don't do chipping in, then that's it. So with this, and I'm gonna sound a bit weird and pathetic here, but so within this, within my Netrunner playthrough, I decided to be aggressive with Panam in the sense that I wanted to romance her, like, aggressively. And that was my main goal. Luckily, I did, so. But the problem came with the fact that after doing certain so, originally, here's the story of how I did this, or how I originally beat the game. So, and I had to go back to my V character. I do say my V character as opposed to my female V, because to me, playing Cyberpunk as a guy just doesn't sound right to me. That's my own personal opinion. You can have it however you want. Personally, for me, I just think the male V just sounds weird to me. So it always sounds like he has a drug problem or like a cigarette problem, while the male V just sounds like a fucking teenager, or while the female V just sounds like a fucking teenager, even though she's 27. But that's neither here nor there. So originally what happened with, I think the problem comes in with the fact that since I'm a female, I was trying to romance Judy. Now, to romance Judy, you don't have to deal with Hellman, and you instead have to deal with Evelyn. Now, some of you guys may think, well, why does that matter? Let me tell you. In my male playthrough, I kind of treated it as I did with Judy, where it was just nothing but Evelyn Parker quest. Anything related to Evelyn Parker, I did. And same thing with Panam. Anything related to Panam, I did. The problem comes in when there's a certain point in the game where you have to deal with the floats. There's supposed to be a parade coming in for Hanako-chan, or Hanako Arasaka, and she's supposed to be a part of a float. Now, the parade, and now what that's supposed to do is Takamura and V use this as a way to tell Hanako-chan that the Yorinobu offed their father, which I've Saburo. And so before that, before the parade starts, how I did it, and I think how it's supposed to be done, considering the fact I fucked up, was you're supposed to do all the Evelyn Parker quests, because at that point you don't know anything about Evelyn Parker. Now, whenever you meet up with Takamura, the quest before the parade of Takamura's whatever, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to sneak into a company or military base. I guess company, yeah, military, because it's robots and shit. And then you're supposed to put a virus into the security system with the floats. I'm having a hard time describing that because it's kind of all over the place with me. And then from that point on, if you haven't started the Pan Am quest, what you're supposed to do now is you can do, to my knowledge, you can do all the quests you want. As long as, because Takamura is also looking for Helmet. So, and it says you have to wait until he's ready, but the only time he'll be ready is if you meet Helmet. That's what I came across in my V playthrough. So if I ever say V as opposed to female V, just know, again, I'm used to, for whatever reason, I'm used to V being female, so. But, so, something like this is, I think, actually how it's supposed to go. And now, I mentioned tapeworm before, because tapeworm is supposed to happen after the quest Search and Destroy. Now again, like I mentioned before, I noticed this whenever I was doing my Judy plate, or my V character being aggressive and trying to romance Judy. But with my male character, I completed the quest Tapeworm after I got Helmet. So what ended up happening was, instead of getting the virus for the floats, it was a case of like after I chatted up Hanako or Wakako, I immediately went and romanced Pan Am, which is, or it was, I did Hellman before we implemented the virus into the floats, which you were supposed to do apparently. So, and with that, and I'll explain one thing later on, because it kind of relates to this, obviously. So, so, I'm trying to, sorry, I'm all over the place with this one. You're going to have to give me a time to rethink what I was going to say. So, yeah. So, after I talked to Wakako, I immediately went to Rogue and got a deal with Pan Am. So then I managed to find Hellman after talking to Takamura. Now the problem with this is I don't know if I had the right idea but then just went off too far, or maybe I messed up from the beginning. So again, keep in mind, you're supposed to put the virus into the floats, and then you have to wait for Takamura needs to be ready, which you can then use as an opportunity to talk to Rogue, get you the stuff needed for Pan Am, and then you can just come back and do that. Which I've noticed, and I know it's true, because Rogue costs 15,000 eddies. And in the sense, I didn't have that much during my V playthrough. So with that, I went off and did a bunch of shit, and around the time, it's usually one of those was like whenever someone's ready, it's usually like a day or 2 days. This went on for like 5 days. Plus, I was also being aggressive, trying to romance Judy, so I was waiting for Judy to call, so I was just waiting, and then nothing. So I eventually, plus I was in like maybe triple digits. I wasn't in like the 5-digit price range. So I had a lot of shit I needed to do. So eventually I did that. And then I went and talked to Hellman. Or I talked to Pan Am, did the Hellman stuff. And then came the talk with Johnny. Now, to my knowledge, there are 3 separate occasions you're supposed to talk to Johnny. Each of them involved the main jobs. First one, well, one of them, but I consider the first one because I've done this one first. The first one is after you deal with the quest Automatic Love. After you leave Clouds, you're supposed to talk with Johnny. Now, Tapeworm will show up. As long as you don't complete it, I think you're fine. So there's that. He tells you about Makoshi and whatnot. Number 2 is if you've done it right, after you implement the virus into the floats, you get Hellman, you're supposed to talk to him there. I think that's number 2. And then number 3 being... Okay, so maybe not all of them are related to the jobs. I think 2 of them are related to Evelyn in some way. But... To this extent, number 3 should be after you talk with Alt Cunningham in Pacifica. That's when he sends you to the hotel. I think. The problem with this is it's a buggy game. And if you play games like this for so long, the game starts to break. And I know this because I've played a lot of Fallout 4. Now, I have played Fallout 4 on loop continuously. And here's the thing, the game has broken before. There have been times where Piper has been behind the mailbox in between the main path into Diamond City and then the path up to the mayor's office. She's been stuck in there a couple of times. There's been times where the guards have been stuck there. So therefore, if you needed a newsboy cap to get from Kyle, there's no way you could have gotten it. So something. And it kind of broke the game in a way, especially if I wanted to progress further in the story with Fallout 4. Now, I feel like this is one of those times where, for some reason, so let me back up. I'm getting all over the place here. Sorry about that. I'm getting all over the place here. So instead of finishing all of Evelyn's quests, I think I did Automatic Love, but I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't start it. I can't remember. Or maybe it's like Fallout 4 where if you complete the oldest quest last, then it just shows up where it's supposed to be finished. I'm not sure, but whatever. If that's the case, then that's fucking stupid. But there's going to be a patch to get Cyberpunk fixed up, I think. So hopefully this shit gets fixed, because I am loving this game and I desperately want to have Johnny take over my body, which is a very weird sentence, but whatever. So again, this is different because I was playing as female V and aggressively doing Evelyn quests. That way Judy's available at my disposal. That sounds weird, but it's whatever. And so with that came the fact that instead of doing Evelyn's quest first, I went. There was a certain point in Takamura's, again, before you implement the virus into the floats, where if I had availability and enough eddies, I ended up getting or working with Pan Am, which was very aggressive early on, because you need to start the plan first. I think you need to start the plan first before actually getting Hellman, which, if that's the case, then I completely fucked this up, because then Tapeworm is out of order. Although, granted, I didn't get Tapeworm after Automatic Love, and I know that because I kind of pissed Judy off, so now I felt bad because of it. So I never really got Tapeworm. Now, you don't complete it until you reach the motel. You're not supposed to properly get it and start it until after Search and Destroy. So I think after that is when you're supposed to get it, or properly get, or So tapeworm has showed up as like a sort of like a side job, or like a side gig, but in a sense it wasn't completed whenever I talked to Johnny, because tapeworm's quest is talk to Johnny. Now I've talked to Johnny already, and tapeworm didn't show up as finished, so I think it's one of those where it just shows up as like talk to Johnny. Okay, now you wait. Okay, now talk to Johnny. Okay, now you wait. Okay, now follow Johnny and talk to Johnny. Kind of like that whole McCready quest in Fallout 4, where it's like, where it's like deal with Winlock and Barnes. Okay, now you completed that. Now continue traveling with McCready. And then after a while, okay, you go to MedTech or whatever, that sort of thing. Come here. Or sorry, there's a dog here. I want to pet the dog. So but yeah, I think that's how it is. Kind of like the long road ahead, you know, that sort of thing. I think that's what it is, but I'm not sure. Because, again, it didn't show up as completed, and tapeworm was the first time it ever showed up. The first time tapeworm ever showed up to me was after the quest Search and Destroy. So, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is... Hold on, give me a moment. I need to let this dog out. Alright, sorry, I had to take care of some other stuff. And my memory is very fucked up, so if I repeat myself, I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I talked about tapeworm. So the quest tapeworm, like I mentioned before, is supposed to happen after the quest Search and Destroy. So I got milk and lunch. I'm a vegan's worst nightmare right now. So, trying to quickly bypass through that. So... yeah, so tapeworm after Search and Destroy. So there are like I mentioned, I think I mentioned this already. There are 3 possible areas that Johnny's supposed to talk to you. After Automatic Love, after you grab Hellman, probably not in the same order, but definitely within the realm of it. And then trying to think, the Pacifica, after the Pacifica Church, that's after you talk to Alt Cunningham and go over the plan with Johnny. That sort of stuff. So, I don't think I don't think he contacted me after Automatic Love. Or maybe I did Pan Am stuff first before moving on to Evelyn. Because again, I was more worried about the Pan Am more than Judy. God, my mouth is watery. Holy shit. If I throw up, it's gonna be because of all of this. So yeah, but with this, I got tapeworm, the quest tapeworm, after getting Hellman. So I was already out of order, because I know for a fact I didn't get it after the church, and I sure as hell didn't get it after Automatic Love, because Mikoshi came out of nowhere. Supposedly, I was supposed to know Mikoshi, but I didn't. And the quest tapeworm was finished, which means I didn't get Johnny's tank top, which is what you're supposed to get with the dog test, because he asked if you'll take a bullet for him or whatever. So basically, in essence, I soft locked the game entirely, because what's supposed to happen is, I think it's after. I think it's after the kidnapping of Hanako-chan, or Hanako Osaka. That's a hard word to say, Hanako-chan. Yeah, I said it right, it's just Chan was a bit weird. So, after you kidnapped Hanako Arasaka, because immediately after completing the quest tapeworm, that's, because, like I mentioned before, Search and Destroy came after... or tapeworm came after Search and Destroy. Sorry, that was the laptop. And so with that, I think you're supposed to talk to him 3 times, but then after Search and Destroy, he takes you back to Pacifica and asks if you'll take a bullet for him or whatever, which, my playthrough, I'm saying yes, because that's the point. So, that was aggressive. So, after I soft-locked the game, one thing you need to know about me is I realized overall my biggest pet peeve is whenever I do something, or if I work very hard for something, and it amounts to nothing. Like, for example, if I stayed up 9 hours doing homework and the teacher doesn't collect it, I'm gonna be pissed because I spent 9 hours working on the goddamn homework. And this is definitely one of those. I worked so hard to get up to this point. Worked very hard to kiss Johnny's ass. Worked hard to get Pan Am to romance me because I've died so many times during the quest with a little help from my friends. So, I've died there so many times, and then it's just gone. So I'm pissed off, like, royally pissed off. Like I mentioned before, and yes, I'm the problem. I know I'm the problem. They had to add romantic options to this game. That is my biggest weakness of them all. If there's romancing in games, that's the first thing I'm gonna try out. That's exactly what I did with Fallout. I made a charisma of 10. I made a charisma 10 character in hopes that I could romance Piper, and I did. That character sucked, but I got the job done, and an achievement along the way, or a trophy along the way, so I win there. But something like this is very... But yeah, so it's my weakness. Romancing in games is just my weakness. I've stated that already multiple times. But it's something I always try and go for whatever reason. Probably see what it's like, you know. Hell of a lifetime. It's the best thing I've witnessed. Which there's some funny stuff I know. So, like I mentioned before, so after I soft locked the game, I wanted to figure out where the fuck I went wrong. So I went to my V character, my female V character, and I had to fucking write down the quests in order of how I beat them. Again, hopefully it's not like Fallout 4, where it's just, if you did 10 quests, because how the quest usually goes is dangerous mines, and then you're supposed to finish the glowing sea. But if after you do dangerous mines, you do 10 whole quests, and then you decide to do glowing sea, well, the glowing sea, instead of appearing after the last quest you do, it appears near, or it appears after you supposedly finish Dangerous Mines. So in essence, you just completed Dangerous Mines, Glowing Sea, and those 10 quests, instead of Dangerous Mines, 10 quests, Glowing Sea. I hope this isn't the case, because if it is, then I am fucked. But I don't think that's the case, because of the fact that if it was to go in order, then that would have meant I had to do all of Evelyn's quests, including Pacifica, which I know I haven't done at that point. I think. I can't remember. More likely, I did do, the Pacifica stuff first with, Brigitte and whatnot. So, but whatever. You know, so, at first, I planned on just sleeping it off. I was so bothered, pissed off, whatever, because if there's one thing I hate doing more than anything is restarting a character that I did not finish. With the exception of my first one, because with tradition I have, if a game is as customizable with your characters as this, I always restart it, because I get the hang of it, trying to understand, and then I use a build, because I'm unoriginal. But, so, and it's happened a lot, and I just get bothered by it, so I planned on sleeping it off, and then just dealing with it again, but then I was like, you know what, no, I'm gonna stay up, pulling all-nighter. By the way, this happened at like 10 p.m., so this whole soft locking thing appeared at 10, or close to maybe, I think either 1 a.m. or close to 12 a.m. So it was either 12 a.m. or 1 a.m., whatever. So my first thought was, you know, I'm just going to sleep it off, and then I'll just restart. You know, I'll restart, let my mind settle for a bit, before I go and make the worst decision of my life, and then become paranoid, which, by the way, I'm paranoid as fuck now, because after doing the quest, what the fuck is that quest? or you have to go to Jig Jig Street with Judy to meet up with Fingers. Well, whether you're nice to her or not, which I learned is very uncomfortable if you piss her off, obviously, because she just holds it against you. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" It's like, well, listen, I'm sorry. No, you don't do that, but you guys get the point. But yeah, with this, I forgot, or the straight and forward or whatever, I'm not sure. But something like that became, so I had to restart the entire fucking game from the beginning. And so I decided, you know, I'm just gonna pull an all-nighter, you know. I made a promise to myself that I would continue playing up until after the heist quest. Or whatever the Johnny... It was after I was able to gain conscious of my character, whether I was... Fuck, where did I save? I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was after the quest Heroes, or it was in the middle of the quest Heroes. Mama Wells gave me... it was at the point I was supposed to head to Jackie's garage to figure out something for the ofrenda. But then I just... My original plan was originally finish the quest heist, or whenever I'm back at my motel and I have to sleep or whatever, or after dealing with the whole Johnny Silverhands debacle, after you get out the... Almost said Johnny Sins. Shit. After the Johnny Silverhands debacle where you walk out the shower and it's like, check your email, to check your inventory for clothing, find food, check your weapon stash, all of that. I planned on stopping there, but then I was like, you know, I'm just gonna be up. I'm gonna be playing this game anyway, so why not stay up through the whole thing? Come to find out, nope. After the quest, or during the quest Heroes where I was supposed to head to Jackie's garage, I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna fall asleep. By the way, 6 a.m. It was 6 a.m. by the time I went to sleep. So that means I stayed up from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. playing this motherfucking game. Well, okay, not 12 a.m. because I did take a break because I did plan on sleeping off. So I think at like 1 a.m. or 1:30 to 2 a.m. I stayed up playing this game. And I didn't speedrun it because I'm not a fucking speedrunner. I think this is one of those games where you can't speedrun it. I thought it'd be okay, I guess you can, but there's a lot of like stuff you need to take care of. I thought GTA 5 wouldn't be speedrunnable, but look, now we have Dark Viper AU speedrunning GTA 5, so I guess I can be wrong in that sense. So yeah, so this was originally supposed to be a rant, but I feel like if I just sat down and talked about my problems, that it no longer becomes a rant, but more of a discussion. So yeah, here we are. And so if there's any advice I have for people who are starting out with Cyberpunk, it's just because it's romancing doesn't mean you need to do it straight away. There's a quest called Nocturne OP55N1. I'm so glad I remember that. Use that if you're gonna romance people, because I feel like this could be used as a setup. Like, you're originally supposed to get the devil or the suicide ending. So from there, I need to issue a spoiler alert. I forgot to issue one. Oh well, I'll put it in the title. So yeah, so if there's anything to take away from this is sorry, laptop again. I need help. I need fucking help. Not with the game, with the fact that I try and romance. Sorry, some advertisement came on and I got distracted. Because I try to romance Pan Am very fucking quickly. More quickly than I romanced Judy, by the way. I romanced Judy after I got whenever I got the quest Nocturne OP55N1. So which meant at the point of no return, I decided to just romance Judy, which helped. And I think I did the same thing with Pan Am. Well, female, become friends with her, but I could have done it with Pan Am. So if there's something to take away is, just take your time. Don't try and complete all the quests in one fucking sitting before you do fucking Nocturne OP55N1. I'm so glad I remember that, so... So, yeah. So just take your... The only advice I can give is take your time, because it's a buggy-ass game. Which, segue into the next thing, which is just going to be a real quick thing. They decided to release patch notes, or they announced that they were doing patch notes, in June, I think they said. So hopefully they can fix all of this fucking problem with the game, because again, the intro or the prologue, interlude, and even Act 1 is almost a couple of hours long. It is a fucking long start just to get to the main fucking game. Like, to me, the main game is after Jackie, T-Bug, Dex die and Johnny Silverhands takes over. That's the main game, because you have free roam. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So they need to fix it in some way. And I hope they do. Also, I keep getting the glitchy effect on my character. I don't know if that's supposed to happen or whatever, but if it is, I'm not sure. But I'm at the point now where I need to talk to Mr. Fingers. I did get Takamura's quest for Oda. That was one of the things I was worried about, because I was like, Takamura should be calling any moment. So I had to restart the whole thing. Come to find out, I just had to walk up to the Ripperdoc, or Mr. Fingers' place, and then Takamura called. So I was like, well, now, looky here, you motherfucker. Now you want to show up, huh? Or thank fucking God you now want to call. So now, thankfully, I'm at the part where whenever you finish this quest, it leads into Disaster Piece, by the way. That's a Slipknot reference, and it is an amazing song. So it leads into Disaster Piece, which I think is one that you should do before talking to Takamura. I think that's what I did. I think I'm gonna have to look and see. I made a whole, like I mentioned before, I made a whole list of quests that my V character made or did. Which, going off of that, I got lucky. I mean, holy shit. You ever do something that's as dumb, or that you ever do something that you completed as a kid that you try now, you're like, how the fuck did I do this? I am getting dumber by the moment. Because I completed a game as a kid probably without the need of the internet, because I didn't have any access to the internet as a kid. All of the laptops were my parents, and I didn't have a phone, and I didn't want to ask them for help, or I didn't want to ask them to use the laptop for help, so I had to figure shit out on my own. And then as I got older, I couldn't complete a single fucking thing without the help of my phone. So I am getting dumber by the moment. Next thing you know, I'm going to completely forget my own birthday, or even my own name. I'm going to get... What's that? What's that condition? Alzheimer's, I think. I'm gonna get Alzheimer's by the fucking minute. It's gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, who the fuck are you? Kidding. That's a terrible joke. I'm just gonna finish all this. So yeah, I have a problem. Sorry you had to witness all that grossness. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. If there's anything I can take away from... If there's anything you should take away from this, is don't be me. If you're a hormonal motherfucker, do not, for any reason, gun the romance option. It can wait. I don't give a fuck how attractive, badass Pan Am is, or how badly you feel for Judy, it can wait. Cause there's times, because it's not like once you're done here you have to restart the whole fucking game. No, you can go back and do it. Whenever, once you have your ending, you can go back from before the point of no return, and then you can do whatever you want. So if you beat the game, you can come back and romance her if you so choose. Fuck. Maximum file. I'll speed this up. So yeah, don't gun shit too quickly. I got desperate for Pan Am. Because I was like, this whole guy thing, I just want it over with. By the way, once I'm done with this whole guy thing, once I'm done with my end of the quest, I'm just gonna go back to hold on. I'm trying to see if my camera was lagging behind. I guess not. So yeah, I gunned it too quickly, so I need to not do that. Anyways, sorry this was a weird one. I just wanted to get this off my chest because it's been bugging me for the last couple of hours, and plus I'm very fucking cold here. I'm wearing a white shirt that has like breathable fiber or whatever, so I'm shivering in all of my places, except my pants area because I'm wearing PJ pants. But yeah, so with that being said, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you didn't, that's understandable, but if you somehow did, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new, hit subscribe. It's literally a click of a button, and you could always change your mind if you so feel like it. It's free, so you don't have to do much of anything. Comment down below, have you ever come across something like this, not in Cyberpunk, but just in video games, where you were trying to go for something, like in this case, I tried to romance Pan Am, and then I soft locked the game, because Tapeworm wasn't showing up. How pissed off were you? Were you like, I kind of expected it, or were you like, motherfucker, if this happens again, I'm destroying this fucking game? Or something along those lines. And yeah, long story short, Pan Am pussy is not worth it. I'm sorry, let me be stupid. Alright, Loser Manic, out.